So it's my pleasure today to introduce Ollie. Well, I'll get you to introduce yourself actually, Ollie. Please tell me about yourself, your
Yeah.
name and where you live.
So hi, I'm Ollie Turrell and I live in Cornwall.
Why are we talking today? Like, what's your connection with Bell Geospace?
So I know it was shared heavily quite on Facebook and stuff about the aerial surveying that was going to be taking place. And I did a bit of digging, looked into the company because over the last 2 or 3 years, I've been like monitoring and taking photos of different aerial movements in Cornwall, especially like during G7 during last year. So I decided to try and contact the company who were doing it, and of course I contacted Bell Geospace to see like when the movements were going to be, whether there'd be any chance of arranging like some flybys to try and get some photos, and yeah, and obviously, and I was then invited up to Southampton to see the aircraft as well.
That's pretty good. That's a very rare opportunity, actually, Ollie. So you're very lucky there.
Yes.
So did you manage to get some good photographs before you went to Southampton? Did you manage to get some good photographs from the
I
ground?
did, yes. So I got some photos up when you were surveying off of the land, so taking from up on the bay, which was really quite cool to see because you don't normally get aircraft flying that low here, especially an aircraft of the size that you use. So it was a spectacle to see, definitely.
And if you were trying to describe the experience to somebody, so say the plane was going to a new area, and then people were maybe wondering how that was going to look and sound to their communities, how did you expect it to be, and how did it compare to how you expected it to be?
I was definitely expecting it to be, I'd say, more impactful in the sound, especially like knowing it was an older aircraft. But when it was flying around, it wasn't that noticeable at all. Like I noticed it because I was tracking it and I was keeping an eye on it when I was taking photos of it. But when it was flying about, especially like while I was in school and stuff, not many people noticed. And those who did notice, it wasn't loud. It didn't have much impact at all, and it was a very cool sight to see.
Yeah, that's a good question, actually. So what about what your peers and schoolmates and community, anyone that did notice it, what was the sort of general feeling around the place? Was it good, bad, mixed?
It was good, actually. Yes. I think quite a few people were fascinated because it's quite a very different aircraft from anything you'll see flying around in the skies here as well. So those who were interested, in people who know, because people know like I'm interested in aerospace and stuff. So I was getting questions like, do you know what this is? What was it doing and stuff from those who did notice. And they had a genuine interest to see how it was, like what it was doing and how it's going to like help the future of our area as well in what it was doing.
That's it. I mean, it's a particularly interesting survey, this Cornwall one, because it is for the geothermal and for the lithium. It's it's something a bit different and very current of the times as well. So then you got to go and see the plane in Southampton. You boarded, I guess, with Kenny and some of the other crew. How was that?
It was amazing, really, especially after seeing it flying in the sky and stuff. You don't fully appreciate the size of the aircraft until you're with it, and then when you're next to it, because it just looks like an ordinary size aircraft, but it's actually quite big. And being able to like go inside, see in the areas where they work and like the instrumentation and stuff, it was amazing. Especially in the roles of what it's doing.
I've got a favourite photo, which you sent to Kenny, but it was only a little one, and that's where you took a picture on your phone of the photograph on your camera. We've never had that photo before, so it was like a completely real
Yes,
time.
I'll need to send them across.
That
Yes.
was awesome.
Yeah. It was quite interesting because I was messaging with him while I could see him in the aircraft flying past.
Yes.
Yeah. It was quite cool.
Yeah, and what are your other photographs available for anyone else who's interested in planes to see? Have you uploaded? Do you upload to JetWorks, or did you participate in any of the?
I haven't uploaded any of them yet.
You need to do it. Yeah, you need.
I think I put a few. I do. I think I put quite a few up on the local Facebook page, and I linked a few under like the comments, like people asking like what it was doing and stuff, and gave some like brief explanations. But yeah, I've seen especially with quite a few of the aircraft spotters and people interested in aviation in Cornwall. All of them have been very interested with it, and especially in like the last week as well with flying around again. You've seen the spiked interest. So it's been cool to see it again, yes.
Yeah, it's a huge. You get such a big following. It's one of the fun bits talking to the guys that are spotting it. A couple of the plane spotters that sort of follow us are actually pilots, so they send me photographs from all
Yes.
different
Yeah, yeah.
locations around the world, which is
That's
brilliant.
pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool. All right. Well, is there anything else you think's worth adding?
I think it's just worth saying, like, if it is going to be flying in and up like other areas around the world, it's worth looking out for, definitely, because it it's quite rare to see an aircraft, especially of that age, doing these low flying, the low flying and scanning heights and stuff. It's really quite cool to see.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Ollie. I've got some really good clips there.
Thank you. Yes.